Hey, Steve. Obviously, you guys have a stellar road record, but I mean, your home record for a team of your caliber is probably below what you would anticipate. I mean, do you have any sort of theory on why you guys have struggled to kind of develop a home court advantage here?
I don't. I think you guys asked me this a couple of weeks ago, and I'm still, unsure why we struggled at home. Obviously it's disappointing and frustrating. We've played very well on the road for the most part, and to have basically a 500 record at home is below our expectations. So I'm not sure exactly why that is, but hopefully it's something that we can cure in the rest of the season.
And second question is, there's a report that James has a number of concerns. One of them is Kyrie's part-time status. Another is rotation patterns, a lack of a set crunch time lineup. Are those things that you have discussed with him? And if so, I mean, how did that discussion go? What was the general tenor?
No, I just heard about this reports, and I haven't spoken to him about any of these things. So I'm not sure what to believe. James and I speak all the time. I think we have a great relationship, so I'm not sure the validity of these comments, to be honest with you. But we talk. I mean, the rotations or the whatever that comment at, it seems very strange, seeing as though we have different guys available pretty much every other night. So I don't see James saying a lot of this stuff, and I feel like our relationship's been really good, and we've worked through a lot of things together this year.
Hi, Steve. That was a good question. I hadn't even heard that myself. I was thinking about following up, but my questions are about LeBron. I want to go back in time. When you were playing and he first got in the league, do you remember what your first impressions of him were?
Oh, LeBron. Just an incredible athlete. Obviously, he had skills. He hadn't become the fully formed version, but right away, just his ability, size, strength, speed, agility, quickness, ability to handle the ball and pass and finish at the basket and transition. He was out of this world. So immediately you were struck by how different he was as an athlete. You knew that he also had a skill and IQ to match, but he was such a young player. It was still just a portion of the player he'd become, and it was already so electric and incredible to see him fly up and down the court at that size and speed and youth.
And there's a bunch of guys obviously playing now that you played against, and now you're coaching against them. But when you retired, LeBron had already played like 10 years, I think, and he's still playing at certainly an all-star and maybe arguably MVP type level. What's that like for you to have been part of his playing career for that long, a decade, and then now see him still be this good at this age?
To be honest, I think we take it for granted. Just we're so used to him just rolling out every year and being, an MVP candidate and being one of the greatest players we've ever seen. So, you take a step away and you recognize how unique he is, how difficult it is to be playing at the level he's playing at this stage in his career. But on a day-to-day, I don't even really consider it, because we're just so used to him rolling out there and being, one of the top players in the game, but also like a pretty close version to his best, even at this stage of his career. I mean, there's not that much in it. He adds to his game. He develops other things, and he's still able to have an incredible amount of athleticism and durability with all the miles on him. So, I think we definitely take for granted, the greatness at this stage, at this late stage of what would be, beyond most people's careers.
Steve, do you have an update on Nick's status for tonight?
I think Nick's going to go tonight. So might as well throw that out there and take the brunt of everyone back there.
Steve, you're such a team guy during your career. The Suns teams were known for not only being really good, but being close with one another. The construction of the team you're coaching and the team you're playing tonight, a lot of came together through free agency, trades versus kind of coming up together. Is there any challenge to that type of group in building, all the connective tissue that can help, when times get tough?
Sure. I mean, I think it's, all teams form in a slightly different manner, not just because of the mechanism, whether they were, through the draft or acquired and grew up together, so to speak, but also the personalities that are involved. So you just never know the stage of the career. You add it all up. The complexion of every group is different. Trying to find that commonality and connectivity, as we always talk about here, is different for different groups, different personalities, different people, different histories. So it can definitely be something that comes together seamlessly, and it can be something that can be a daily challenge. So, I think it's more and more common nowadays to see that type of coming together, so to speak, where it's tons of turnover and trying to put players around star players. That's becoming more the norm, at least for teams that are fortunate enough to have star players. So there are challenges with that, but there's also, definitely some privilege with that as well.
Hey, Steve, the rookies you have this year can probably think they have a shot to win a title this year. There's really no clear-cut NBA favorite. Probably hasn't been one since Kevin came here. When you came in the league, it was right after, Jordan just had the best team. Could you have imagined having those thoughts, like we can win as a rookie, or was it sort of like we're not knocking this guy off now?
That's a great perspective. I never really think back, but Michael was on the Bulls when I came in the league, so I didn't come in expecting to win. That's for sure. It was in a sense alarming to play against him, because you'd sat there and watched him win and be so dominant and be someone that everyone was intimidated by. So to play against him was, a privilege, but not one where you definitely thought, oh yeah, we can beat these guys in a 7-game series. We just got to get to the finals. All right. Thanks, guys.